Okay, so in our last video, we looked at what to do if you've got the slope of a line and a point on the line and how to get the equation. What we're going to do now is we're going to look at the case where you've got 2 points on the line, but you don't know the slope yet. You only know what the 2 points are. So let's say here's our line, here's our 2 points. So I'm just going to call the first one x little 1, y little 1, and the other one x little 2, y little 2. It doesn't matter which one's which, but normally, x1's on the left and x2's on the right. A bit easier to look at that way. And I'm going to use exactly the same trick that I did last time to start with, and draw this little triangle and sort of visualize what's going on with the rise and the run. So the first step I'm actually going to do here, so step 1 is to find the slope. So you might recall slope is little m, and that's the rise over the run. Now in this case, if we look at our points, the rise, the distance we've gone up, is y2 minus y1 to give you the difference. So that'll be y2 minus y1. And similarly, the run, the distance you've gone across, is x2 minus x1. Now this, you need to make sure you really know this formula. This is a really fundamental formula because anytime you've got 2 points on a line, you can get the slope from this, this formula. Step 2, well, if you've just worked out the slope and you know 2 points on the line, we've actually got more information that we need, because if you've watched the previous video, you would know that if you've got a point, any point, and the slope, you can work out the equation. So our second step is to find equation using the formula from the previous video, which is y take b over x take a equals m. Now, just to be confusing, this is the bit that seems to trip people up, but it's kind of convenient. AB can equal our first coordinate, because that's on the line, or, and it doesn't actually matter which way you go, AB equals x2, y2. It doesn't matter. You'll get the same result either way. So don't stress about which point to use. If one of them's got a 0 in it, it might be worth using because then it sort of cancels out and it's a little bit easier to do the maths, but it really doesn't matter. Choose either point. If it really stresses you out, just use the first one. Okay? So what I'll do is I'll do a little example of that. So let's say we've got a line through 3, -2, and 1, 4. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'll do this in a different color. Therefore, x1, y1 is 3, -2, and x2, y2 equals 1, 4. What's my first step going to be? Well, my first step is to find the slope. Okay, so if we come back down, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is 4 minus -2. Now this is the part to be really careful about. So here's y2, 4 minus -2. I've got 2 negatives, so I'm going to put the -2 in brackets, and then I'm going to say x2, which is 1 minus x1. Well, that's just +3, so that's okay. Now the trick here is that these 2 negatives become a positive. So you've got to be really careful there. Don't rush this process. 1 minus 3 is actually -2. So now we've got 6 over -2, and if I simplify that fraction down, that's going to be a slope of -3. Okay, so we've done our first step. Second step is to find the equation using this. Well, it doesn't really matter which one I use for AB, but the second one doesn't have any negatives in it and it's got a 1, so that's a bit nicer to work with. So I'm going to use the second one. So I'm going to use AB equals 1, 4. And then I'm going to start from my equation y take b over x take a equals m. And I might just have to keep working over to the side here. So that means that y minus 4 over x minus 1 equals -3. Now there's no bottom line on this side, so I don't need to cross multiply anything to the left. I'm going to go for general form, by the way. So I'm just going to multiply up here. So y minus 4 equals -3 times x take 1. Or y minus 4 equals -3x plus 3. So again, I can go in two ways, but I'm going to go for general form. So I'm going to bring the x over to this side. So I'm going to have to add 3x, so bring it over as a positive, and that'll be plus y, and then I'm going to take the -4 over here, so I'm going to have to add 4. So I'm going to get equals 7. So that's in general form. We'll do it in slope-intercept form as well, because that's pretty easy. I just want the y by itself, so I'm going to take the 4 over to the other side straight away. So that'll be minus 3x plus 7, and that's slope-intercept form. That's pretty easy in this case. All right. By the way, when the question is asked, if it just asks for the equation, you can do either of these, okay? It doesn't matter which format. If it says it has to be in general form, you need to go for this. If it says it has to be in slope-intercept form, you have to go for this. Okay, hope that helps. Thanks for watching.